Howdy, folks. This is Dr. McFarland. I have a microphone plugged in, and I'm going to attempt to show you around the new studio. Maybe I'll crank up the volume here a bit on the microphone, and hopefully you'll be able to hear me okay. Maybe as you've noticed, I have moved some things around here. Fractal lithium 9. Here's the PreSonus Fairport 16, which I've had for a few months now. I really enjoy it. I have mounted the TV onto the wall. I don't know if you can see that or not. So there's the TV on the wall. Yeah, we should have volume now. I plugged in the microphone. Plugged in the microphone. Let me turn the camera around this way. And we still got a mess over there. And we got the lava lamp and a guitar that I need to fix. So this will be the couch area where people sit. And let's see here. Yeah, so there's the new desk area. Over here, there's the vocal booth all set up. And then we got the couch with 2 tables on the other side. We still have the attic area and a drum kit that I need to figure out what to do with, because it's just not going to fit in here. I'm trying to keep things from being so cluttered, and sometimes it's hard to do. Let me turn up the mic pre just a bit. All right, to the left of the desk, we have the drum kit over here, which you remember, this was the wall that my desk and cloud and all that stuff is on. And the drum kit was back over here where the couch is. I got a little piano station, a drum station, a nice comfortable area for clients to sit or just friends to hang out. Me and the wife can sit up here and watch a movie if you want to. There's the other attic space door. And the attic is the full length of the garage. So and that's on both sides. So I have lots of space to, store stuff and all that fun stuff. So, I really got a wild hair last night, and my brain got to thinking. So this afternoon when I got home, I just went right to work. This really nice laminate flooring, which I do like the look of it. I might still put like a small rug under the couch, at least where people's feet are, so that way if they're stomping their foot or something, it's not too loud. Stuff like that. That is the F-Note 5 drum kit that I will be doing some more videos on here very soon. And it's just a good all-around electronic drum kit, but it sounds really nice. It's relatively quiet, about 75 dB in the room, which is not any louder than maybe like a knock on the door or knocking on the wall or something like that. So if y'all have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Not being weird. Hold on, my cables are being weird. My cables are being weird. Let me do this. Move some of this stuff around here. Alright, we got some slack now. So you see that you got the Fractal FM9 on top. And I could put a Kemper there. I could put a head rush just wherever I want. I do have a loom light over the top, so it shines down, and it'll be really good for making videos. And let's look at the rack real fast. So we have a Black Lion Audio PG2 power supply. It's got two IEC outlets on the front and a USB charger, which is very convenient. It does have a light dimmer if I need it, but I can always just pull the loom light over and get some more light on it if I want to. The Apollo in the rack, and also what you see on the desk right there, those are recent purchases. And I decided to go the Apollo route because I already use an Apollo Twin at work. And I just wanted to be able to have a similar setup here in the studio at home. So I have an X8 in the rack, which means I have 4 Unison Pre's in the rack, and then 4 line inputs on the back of the X8. And then because the X8 and the X4 on the desk both have 8 ADAT inputs, or optical light pipe, wherever you want to call them, that's where the audio fuse units come in play down here. So the top audio fuse is for the X8 and the bottom audio fuse is for the X4. So essentially between the audio fuse units, I got 16 inputs. Another 8 Unison Pre's on the X8, and then another 4 Unison Pre's on the X8, and then another 4 on the X4. So that gives me a grand total of 24 mic inputs, and I still have those 4 line inputs on the back of the X8, and all that fun stuff. So, also have the Art Head Amp 6 Pro, which will supply plenty of headphone mixes to different people around the room. And so that's really my next. You can kind of see. Get this cable out of the way here. So you can kind of see in the booth there, I got some stuff in there I need to pull out and kind of organize. I had to throw it all in there this morning or this afternoon just to get stuff out of the way. But yeah, there's the desk. I feel like it's all working. KSM 44 right there. And this is not meant to be, glamorous or anything. I just want to give a quick little tour. And so what I need to do next is this. I really meant for this wall to be the main focal point of the studio. That's why I put the cloud up, over this area for the desk. You can see my audio panels and headphone panels along the wall right there. And that was going to be the hub where all the audio connections from the booth, the connections that are now currently behind this couch, that the drum set was going to plug into. And there's also some audio tie lines in the bookshelf to connect my record player and some other stuff. Just extra inputs around the room. But now, what I think I'm going to have to do in order to keep the rack over here by the desk and also the computer and all that, is I'm going to have to take the cables that are currently in the wall, and I can still get to it all because I can just have to pull back the insulation, which is not a big deal. But yeah, all the cables in the wall right now, like for instance, that one on the left with the cables hanging out, that's been like that for over a year because I just hadn't got around to wiring it up. I can technically pull that back out of that hole and then run the cables underneath the floor in the garage, because this is a bonus room of a garage, and then bring it back in to this wall over here and have a nice big wall panel that I'm going to have all the connections come to. So instead of the speakers firing down the length of the room, I'm going to have the speakers going this way, which this is a 14 by 6 or 14 foot 6 inch width room, so it's pretty wide, and I feel pretty confident this is going to be a good setup for me. So same thing that goes with the cables in the booth over here is there's a audio panel on the wall, and it's currently going all the way down the wall, over the attic door, back down, and feeding into that one panel right there that is currently done and soldered. And that is a solid connection right there, and I've been using that connection to receive the inputs from the booth. But since the cables run right through that wall right there, I can essentially just take those cables and do a little snip and patch them into a new hole right here, or a new audio panel on the wall. So essentially this run from the booth to this wall will be pretty short, and then all I have to do is just take the cables that are currently running out of there, like I said, pull them back out, run them underneath the floor so they connect with the other cables coming from the booth. And then another panel that's currently behind the drum kit. Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. Just go ahead and pull those out and make the destination be right here. Now, I can still keep the actual audio panel in that wall and just reuse the cables. I think that's actually going to be a good idea. So the cable that is currently right there, they're still going to meet up in this area. So I can keep that wall panel there. The cables that I've cut to reconnect the oscillation booth audio cables, I can just reuse the panel below the window to connect anything from the keyboard to the drum to the electronic drum kit, and I won't have to pull out those cables per se. But it'll be interesting. I don't remember how much slack I actually had. It'll be a adventure for sure to get back into these walls and kind of reposition some stuff. But I am liking a lot the layout of the room. It kind of opens up the middle of the room a little bit. And let me reposition the camera here. So yeah, here's me just sitting at the desk, and I got my guitars behind me, a nice couch right over here, drum kit I can hop on at any time. And let me turn this back down a little bit. And keyboard over by the window as well, that is currently facing the wall, but when I have jam sessions or an actual, maybe the keyboard player wants to face, looking into the room and not away from the room, we can just flip that thing around and it won't take up that much more space, essentially. So I think it's going to be a pretty cool setup for this next year. I've been working with a few artists, getting some demo songs out so they can potentially pitch these songs to other artists that want to record them for their album or whatever that is. Let's see. So I got some chairs and all these guitar cases back in the corner over here. Those are going to go in the attic. And the attic is fully insulated, so I'm not too worried about it being extremely hot in the summer or extremely cold in the winter. It stays pretty comfortable, which I'm happy about, because sometimes really, if the case gets really hot, the glue could come undone and just wear them out over time. So, and if I need to move them around, then I can. But I am looking to offload a few guitars. So if you're local to the Nashville, Murfreesboro area and you're interested in some of the guitars I'm selling, then check out, just do a private message and I can share with you some different options as far as guitars I'm getting rid of. Some other recording gear I'm getting rid of, just to kind of scale down. Everything you saw in this rack, that's all I need. 24 inputs is plenty for what I do here in the studio. And I just don't need any more rack gear or just gear in general. I'm just getting rid of all of it and really slimming down and keeping this place nice and clean and organized, which has been a struggle here in the last year or so, because when you got a lot of stuff and you don't have a lot of places to put it, it makes it hard to keep things organized and clean. Which I'm sure you totally understand, right? Just checking the comments here. Wayne's in the house. The only ones I did build, Wayne, is the ones in the corner there. And then these panels against the wall. Sorry, cables everywhere. So you see that. But all the other acoustic panels I got from ATS Acoustics. I think that's the name of the company. I'll be sure to leave a link down below in the description. I also have another video on my channel showing how I hung all these panels. So these panels were well worth the money because they came out really nice. Actually, way nicer than I ever could have made them myself. And also have the cloud overhead, which I may move that eventually to the area right above this TV. I'm just not sure yet what I want to do there. And I still have my, man, these cables. These cables. You can see I have my Dr. McFarlane Studios acoustic panel that they customized for me. I just provided them a JPEG or a PNG, and they printed it out like that. So that's really nice. And then all the panels you see in the booth are also ATS Acoustics. But honestly, there's tons of great companies online. This is just the company that I ended up going with. I do have some Audimute blankets that I could hang over the window, just to get some extra isolation if there's like cars driving by or whatnot. But I actually live on a cul-de-sac, so it's not a big deal as far as noise goes here in my neighborhood or at the end of the street where I live. Since I'm firing the speakers back toward a totally different wall now, I am going to take some 3 panels I have left over and place them on the back wall, so that will kind of deaden any kind of reflections that come off that back wall right there. which should be fine. And I got bass traps in the far corner over here. And this part of the room where the drum set is now is pretty dead. I'm sure you can hear just a little bit of echo in here because it is a big room. Actually, before I moved all the stuff into this room over a year ago, I made an impulse response of the room, basically with two sets of microphones and one speaker. And if you have any kind of convolution reverb plug-in, I have some IRs of this room that you can purchase from the website. I think it's $5. And it gives you the sound of my room in your studio, which I think is really cool. And even to this day on some mixes, I can throw on that reverb on a vocal or drum, room mics, or whatever I want and just give it a little bit bigger sound. And now that the stairwell is done, I can actually probably take some impulse responses of the stairs and also do the same thing for the garage down below me, which is 27 by 27. So it's pretty big. And I feel like it would have some pretty cool, big roomy reverb type sound. So let me check some comments here. Wayne says, thanks for the info. I do guitar overdubs in my apartment and sessions here in Houston, Texas. I'm about to start building my own treatments. Yeah, I mean, they're not hard to make. So if you want to save some money, then making it yourself is definitely the way to go. But for me, I just wanted something really nice. And it was worth it for me to pay the extra money to get black panels, red panels, different sizes, different shapes. So I can kind of move, put them around the room and have it sound pretty decent. I can't remember who this guy is, but he says he lived in Murfreesboro as a youngster. Rudverhagen, I can't say it. And he remembers catching fireflies. That's cool. Wayne uses Mixbus 32C to mix all my tracks down before I send them to the studios. Nice. I was a Reaper user for many, many years. And since I found Mixbus 32C, that's all I use as well. And Wayne, be on the lookout, not this week, but the next week. Exciting. It's going to be V9. And a lot of great stuff that's been done here in the last few months that really gives it a new look, new sound, and all that fun stuff. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be really it's going to be a good release for Harrison for sure. And me as the product specialist for Harrison or for Mixbus, I will answer all the emails and all the phone calls. If you happen to call into the office, it'll be me picking up the phone and helping you out on the other end. So I get some questions sometimes of like what kind of keyboard you should use with your DAW. And I just have this little Arturia Microlab keyboard that works great really for just playing little melodies and stuff. Here's a bunch of screws I need to put back on my guitar once I get this. I can just kind of jab out some chords and play those in pretty fast. I am really loving the PreSonus Fader Port 16. This is not very wide, and obviously with the name you get 16 faders. I can show my audio tracks, my buses, my VCAs, virtual instruments. So just basic fader movements. Select the channel. You can do some panning. Just really basic stuff. I do all the main shortcuts here on the keyboard. So I don't really use the transport controls all that much, but I can if I want to. But I'm just a keyboard and mouse guy, so all the main keyboard shortcuts to zoom in and out, edit, stuff like that. But when it comes to mixing and getting a good static mix, I will use the faders here to make all that happen. So really, that's about it, guys. I have a lot of I got some guitars over here that I'll be doing some reviews on and possibly selling, and all kinds of fun stuff. So let me end it with a little Nashville tuning. This is an old Sigma guitar that I've had since I was like 14, and I think it sounds pretty good. Let me make sure it's in tune. I actually have this in DADGAD tuning right this second, and let's see what we got. I haven't stretched the strings on this thing yet, so DADGAD, yeah, so that's gotta be a G or an A. Not too bad. Yeah, so this is a Sigma guitar I've had for a very long time, and the frets are very, very low because I've just had one too many fret dresses on it, just for recording. So I have an Eastman AC 122 acoustic that I use for my main acoustic. But sticking a mic on this thing and recording it sounds pretty good. Alright, so there you go, guys. Shaun White's in the house saying hi. And Sigma is made by Martin. So it's kind of like the Epiphone to a Gibson or a Squier to a Fender. You can just kind of see the... Established in 1970. Sigma acoustic guitars. So I've had this thing a very, very long time, And it's got his fair share of nicks and scratches and all kinds of fun stuff on there. Anyway, I'm going to close up shop for the night. It's been a long day, but appreciate all you guys hanging out with me and just saying hi. Once I get an idea in my head, I just have to see it out to the end. Minus the cables, that's going to have to be for a separate day. I might have to get my friend Bruce to help me with that. Because all the cables are in the wall, and I literally just have to pull them back out, run them underneath the floor, and back up into this other wall over here, and get a nice big panel. I want to get a nice solid panel with maybe like 16 inputs on it, so I have plenty of options to route stuff throughout the room, and it all ends up right here. And then have some USB ports, some other stuff, just to kind of, because the Alesis Recital Pro keyboard over there, I can hook it up USB and just have it be a controller for Arturia, whatever Arturia plugin I have, or IK Multimedia. But the internal sounds on the keyboard sound fine as well. It's just cool to add it, use it as a controller for other software. Same goes with the F Note. The internal sounds are great, but I can just trigger a Superior Drummer if I wanted to and get really good sounds that way too. So it's nice to have those USB options on the wall, so I can just quickly plug it in and maybe turn down the latency or the buffer size in the recording software so I don't hear that latency when they're playing. Usually 128 or 256 is good enough. But yeah. Thanks, Doc. I concur. All right, guys. Y'all have a good rest of your week, and have a good Monday tomorrow, and may all your dreams come true. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Keep rocking.